yo. It was because I'm connected to my car Bluetooth. You know what I mean?
All right.
Hey,
We live in right now.
and we are live.
SoundMinds. Again, it's another Sunday, right? Y'all ain't got no other holidays or nothing to talk about. I don't care about what y'all watching. My Knicks are on, but we on. So that is more important. We got a phenomenal dope dude, man. So when you talk about platform creators, as this season is more so for the most part catered to and focused on, this platform that we're about to go into and get to know a little bit better was created by a dope dude by the name of Kosan, and his whole brand is Break a Leg, right? So Break a Leg, when I tell you and when we get into the conversations, I guarantee you're going to fall in love with it, and you're going to fall in love with the whole concept of what they do. So I don't want to give up too much, man, but we got the brother on the line. We got the brother on the episode, so we're going to let him introduce himself, and then we're going to get into this dope conversation. SoundMinds.
Yo, thank you, SoundMinds, for having me on. You know what I mean? I appreciate the love. You know, I've been looking for this, man. I'm like, yo, I'm always putting people on. Yo, who gonna put me on? Son? You know what I mean? And light skin, yo, don't know me from a can of paint, bro. The love is authentic, man. I appreciate you having me on the show, real talk. But yo, I'm just a guy who was an artist who decided that Jersey needed a platform for hip hop, and that's what I did, man. That's why I started Break a Leg ENT, because I was tired of taking the train to EO Dub every Sunday and having the rock there. So I created my own platform called Break a Leg ENT. It started as just, doing it for local artists, but now it's become bigger than that, man. You know what I mean?
Wow. Whoa.
I'm so glad he said all of that, right? We just had EO Dub.
What happened?
Because
after that, we had Joe Villa. Yep. Joe Villa was talking about how he came out of a joint called Freestyle Union. That inspired him to start a joint called The Lifeline. So now when we talk about platform creators, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, we seeing a theme. Platform creators that do it right actually inspire other platform creators to inspire other platform creators.
Yeah,
and he mentioned the name. You shouting out other people that's alumni of the show.
Can I say something real quick? First of all,
yes, sir.
Peace to Versus.
Yes.
Rest in peace to my man Vice Versus. Shout out to the whole EO Dub crew. They inspired me to start Break a Leg, yo. Real talk.
That's really amazing.
Studied what they did, and I'm like, yo, these cats is worldwide with this shit, man. They was just an open mic that started local, and now they got EO Dubs everywhere. You know what I mean? So
you know what's crazy?
I want to ask, bring us back to tell us your side of that story of traveling, taking the train, every week to EO Dub. Tell us the vibe in there. We just had them on, and we got to get some great. First of all, we got a breakdown of how it all started. If you look on our channel, the breakdown story of it goes way back. So
I mean, look, basically, shout out to my homie Jay Holland. I mean, another artist that's been on my show many times. Shout out to him. Me and him just love to perform, man. We love to get that practice in on stage and just work on our skills, our live performance skills, and that's important to artists, man. It ain't just about rapping in the closet, you know what I mean? So we always just wanted to look for places to rap. So every Sunday we would get on the train, and we would be honest with you, it was an experience because we would record the whole thing most of the time. Us on the train, interacting with people, and just the whole preparation. You in there, you on the train, just boggling your mind, thinking about what you're gonna spit, or whatever song you're gonna rock, you're working on. Yep. So the whole the anticipation of being on the train and going out there, it made your nerves even more wrecked. You know what I mean? Because listen, EO Dub ain't just some open mic you could just go rock. If you whack, motherfuckers gonna let you know you whack, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you whack, bro, they gonna tell you, yo.
You talking about Apollo get booed off stage? You got the whole crowd like this, word.
Yep.
Except the crowd is this close to you. At least Apollo, they got a stage between you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? EO Dub is
right.
Yeah, man. You know what's wild, right? Yo, the connections are crazy this season. So we had Big Zoo, we had Zoo and Prolific One on the first episode. Now this is, for the most part, it's kind of like extended family. While they were doing the EOW joint back in the day, we were doing the SoundMinds open mics, and then we, rocked out Stronghold, Plague, Writers Guild. Everybody kind of knew each other, man, and the love, right, to see EOW go to the level that it's gone, and then at the same time to be able to speak. And they got a show today. I was just telling Rob right now, they got a show today. Got my cousin Focus performing for them today. You know what I'm saying? So the tonight, and they do that every after this, right? Right after this at 9:00. So they do an open mic. I don't know if you know, they do a virtual open mic every Sunday where they still continue the same format that they were doing, right? But it's all about I believe Sundays is about writtens. So you spit your writtens. On Thursday, they doing it where it's freestyle. So it's just a freestyle. They give you the competition and the words just like they used to do. The crazy thing is, here it is, man. Like I said, ran into y'all off of another guest we had, Cam Bada. Shout out to him. Shout out to Connecticut. And then when I seen what y'all were doing, and we're gonna get into that, man, I was like, yo, this is so straight hip hop right here, because you're providing a platform for unknown artists, or known in their own rights, but not necessarily got the exposure that they need. And you're allowing them to be heard and letting tracks. And as a matter of fact, the day I think y'all played one of my tracks, and we're gonna get into that too, man, how y'all so constructive with it. You know what I mean? It ain't like, yo, I heard some dudes in there, no disrespect to nobody, but I heard some things in there, and I was like, oh wow, y'all flipped it on some, yo, I think you need to work on your delivery, man. I would choose a different beat for you, and I love that y'all did that. Matter of fact, that was the same night that Chadwick Boseman passed away. You know what I'm saying? So we was all kind of in shock on that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yo, let's get into this conversation, man. This is dope. The connections is just, it's too fluid, man.
Well, what about the moments right before? Like the moments right before where you was like, and I'm gonna set this up, y'all. Okay, since it's dovetailing. In the last episode, Joe said it got to the point where we loved this so much, we realized we couldn't just do it at the Freestyle Union once a week. We had to do this more. So for those who watched our last episode, now you get another perspective on how these things happen. So what was it like before you launched yours, leading up to that? What was you feeling as an MC and somebody that want to obviously put others on?
Well, you talking about when I first started Break a Leg, or when I started the podcast?
The Break a Leg, when you first started the Break a Leg. You know what I mean? When you was just going to EO Dub, and then you was like, what was that?
Oh, yeah, let's hear, I mean, for the most part, let's hear both. You know what I mean? You pick and choose which one you want to talk about first. Let's hear both, though.
Well, the first, from the beginning, man, like I said, man, I was always the artist that always just looked for a stage. Listen, I performed my songs before I even recorded them. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even have songs recorded. I would just go and write songs and make songs and then just go perform them. You know what
that
I mean?
Makes better songs to me.
Yeah, exactly. If you're writing the song for an audience to listen to it while you on stage, that's a whole different vibe. You know what I mean? It ain't just, oh, I'm vibing. The vibe in your radio is different from a vibe inside a live, concert. You know what I mean? It's a totally different thing. So that's the feeling that I like more than anything. I love listening to music, but when I'm at shows and I'm there, like whether I'm spectating or I'm on stage, man, that energy is just different. You know what I mean?
Wait, footnote to that. Did you ever go to perform a joint and you rocking with the crowd and you change the chorus? Like it come to you different, and then you go home, like you said, you gonna record later, and then you like, oh, I know I flipped the chorus better because of how it's coming up in the crowd.
Yo, you know what? I've rewritten a lot of songs because of live performances, because either maybe the syllables fit in a little better, I tightened it up, the timing of it, or the groove of the hook was a little better because it was natural, it was more organic. So yeah, I mean that's the way I like to write songs anyway. When I was writing like that all the time, I just love to just listen and freestyle to a song and then get an idea like that. You know what I mean? So that for me, yeah, I mean that shit always happened to me, because I would go to shows and rock songs and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take that word out. You know what I mean? And keep them syllables tight like that, So
SoundMinds, he dropping gems right now. Listen.
Yeah, man, that's it. I mean, yo, listen, it's very important for artists to understand that, live performances is the most important thing right now in the music industry, because no artist, I don't care who you are, you're not getting paid on streams like that unless you pumping 100 million streams, 1 billion streams a year. Ain't nobody really getting paid off the streams. Get that streaming shit out your mind, bro. I want to tell artists this real quick before I forget this, man. Please hear me out. I'm not saying don't stream your music. You can, if that, but don't waste so much energy on streams, man, because we ain't really getting paid off that, yo. The people, the platforms are getting more money off our streams than we are, dude. You know what I mean? So listen, try to go, doing shows is the most easiest way to connect with fans. When you go to a show and you rock out and you did your thing on there, and when you walk off that stage, bro, come on, yo. People asking you, yo, can I buy a CD? Yo, you got shirts? That's it, man. You sold your brand right there by putting on a good show, man. So that right there is the most important thing right now. A lot of artists are only thriving off, and that's why a lot of artists are hurting right now, because there's no tours, there's no concerts like that because of the pandemic. So, a lot of artists are hurting, man. The streams ain't paying them, yo. If you see a lot of artists that was getting money like that before the pandemic, a lot of them ain't getting that money like they was, yo. Like
that's Griselda
thrived. Griselda thrived off of tours, yo. They lived off of touring, man. Yeah, I mean, they was on the road all year round, yo.
But see, now you bringing it back to what you doing now. You actually you didn't lay down, even though that's the case. You know what I mean? So we gonna hopefully talk about that too, because you're actually a problem solver in that space. But still, leading up to making break a leg,
like an institution, a university, bro. We trying to take it to the next level. You feel me?
Okay.
I got it. You know what? Before I'm gonna add on to what you're saying too, Coleson. For the young ones, I gotta say there's definitely a trend that has happened somewhere along the lines of, I want to say, the 2010s and up. When y'all performing, man, understand, young ones, man, or people anybody in general, man. There's no disrespect to nobody who feel a certain way. We could talk about it. I'm good. When y'all performing, man, make sure that you're actually performing. A lot of times, I went to see one of my young students perform, and it was just them throwing on the track and doing the ad-libs to the track, to their performance. And I'm like, yo, I don't know where that was allowed to become allowed. You know what I mean? Like, you're performing, so the audience wants to hear how live you are, how you can flip certain things based off of the audience you have. And a lot of times people put on the track and do ad-libs, and I'm like, yo, that's why you get a hype man for that. You need to be the one spitting the verses. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to put that out there, especially because of what you're saying, man, because you're right, because touring and performing is where you really get a chunk of all your money, where everything else is kind of like, that's the extra, because that's what is out there. That's the platforms provided. But nonetheless, the out there performing and making sure that the audience feels you as tangible as you could be. That's where you're going to get that real bread. Yeah.
That's a good point.
The bread is, man.
Provided.
That's it, man. That's the bread. I mean, and I'm sure there's brands like mine all over the country that are keeping, their platforms, open for artists to be touring all over the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you look at the list of people we had in 2018 and 2019 on our events, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous, from Etho to 38 Spaz to Smith & Wesson, to Royal Flush, Large Professor, who else? Mickey Fax. Shout out to my man Mickey Fax, man.
Yep. Shout out to Mick, yeah. Shabam, you had Shabam?
We had
Shabam was on your joint, yeah.
I mean, I could go on and
Poison
on, bro.
Pen now.
Poison Peasy, happy born day to the brother. Happy born day to my guy Peasy.
Yo, yesterday was crazy, yo. Shout out, happy birthday, Poison Pen. Happy birthday, Immortal Technique. He came out to the show, so shout out to him.
By the way, Poison Pen is like the invisible guest on our show. I don't think there's he ties into every guest we've had. Like, he's like, we gotta just put a plaque of Pen here. Like, you find that too? Like, Pen is one of them cats that's just like, he understands the connection between everything. and how important it is to give a platform.
You know what? It was so funny you say that, because when I introduced them, I was telling people like, yo, this shit is more than rap, bro. You know what I mean? When it comes to cats like Poison Pen, shout out to my man Elder Sensei, who was there yesterday. Rusty Jukes, who was there yesterday. These guys all understand the business of it, where it's not just about rap, man. You're a brand. You're a company. Your name is a business. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. So these guys are like, they're not just rappers, man. They're personalities. You know what I mean? They're characters. You know, they're companies that yo, I mean, look at Team Hami, you know. Come on, yo. Like, shout out to Team Hami. They was in the building yesterday, man. You know, it's just, you know, that's what it is, man. They have an understanding of, yo, it's not just about spitting bars anymore and just rapping, man. You know, you gotta treat yourself like a company, like a business. You know what I mean?
It gotta do something with longevity, right? Because like when you talk about light, you know, this kid gets up on the thing, he plays his track and he just ad-libs it. Like, I don't think nobody's telling them like, yo, when people look back to see your performance, they can't even see it from that. They don't even have a reference. You know what I mean? With EOW, you talk about longevity, right? Not only continuing where they was, but now branching out. It seems like the way you moving, you in the frame of mind of longevity too. Like what Light said about it's the platform you provide. These streaming companies provide a certain platform. It's only certain much artists could do. EOW created a platform where it's impossible to just play a track and ad-lib. You creating a certain platform where it's impossible to take certain.
Yo, we don't let those rappers back. Yo, if you come to my show and you spit over your lyrics, yo, I'm not gonna invite you back to my shit, man. Or
what's up with that?
I'll pull you aside. I'll pull you aside and say, yo, listen, you know, you did all right, man, but you know, we don't really like that here. You gotta really put on a performance.
You know what it is though, man. It's and I'm gonna be real with you.
No Milli Vanilli, you know what I mean? We don't
you can't. You can't. I think honestly speaking, man, the era, and all due respect to everybody, babe, but this is the era of softness. Like, I remember there was a time, even in the hood, whatever hood you grew up with, if you was doing wrong, the elders or the older brothers would sit there and be like, yo, come here, let me pull you by your arm, let you know you're doing something wrong. Nowadays, you see people doing that and performing over their tracks and doing just ad-libs just based on the fact that nobody is telling them like, yo, we don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, I don't even got to see you perform. There's no need for me to go to a performance. I could just buy your track.
Hey, yo, bro, there was levels to this stuff, man, before, man. The levels ain't like that anymore. Now you can just put a song on the internet and get a couple of views on it, and it's like, oh, he's a good artist. You know what I mean? And I feel like you can't blame the artists. You got to blame the people that are critiquing it, the people that are giving it the okay, giving it the thumbs up. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, listen, we always talk about the DJs that played the wrong music, right? They played whack music. Well, let's talk about the engineers who be recording it. Yo, if you sitting in the studio recording some whack shit, I'm mad at you, yo. Who be sitting there in these studios with these?
Because you making it sound good. You literally you said this is whack, and I'm gonna make it sound good.
That's such a great point. You don't even understand, because you look, you know, you talking to an engineer right here. So
talk to him.
But
I've sat in those sessions. I've sat in those sessions as an engineer, and I, as an engineer, try to help. You know, I'm like, yo, so you gotta be on time. Like,
you know that face Rob make when he listen in the back. And the MC's just like, it's cool. And he just be like,
I just got my serious face on, right?
He listening like, nah, we not letting it float. We not letting it float. Not on my watch.
But hold up. I don't like those button pusher engineers. Like, okay, you just pushing buttons. You know what I mean? Listen, if I record with someone, I need advice. Like, yo, you think it don't sound right? Yo, listen, do it this way, bro, or change your tone a little bit.
That's the type of engineer that I am, and I've been you know, and this is the thing. Sometimes as an engineer too, I try to take myself out of me being an artist myself and just be the engineer and just help. Be like, yo, you know, it'll sound better if you do this. come with it with more energy. You got to sound more believable, more confidence in your lyrics, more confidence in your tone and things of that nature. Like stand back from the mic, things of that nature. And then or take that word out. If you take that word out, you'll be able to finish that sentence without stumbling more and things of that nature. Some of them tell me, they would tell me, this is what they tell me. Nah, I'm gonna just leave it like that. You know what I'm saying? I like it like that. Like, you paying for this shit?
Yo, it's crazy, man. How many artists? Let me ask you this, Rob. How many sessions do you think it takes? Like, let's do it by time, right? How many hours in the studio do you think it takes an artist to actually get the grasp of how to record music, yo?
Hours. Let's see. So you're talking about artists writing themselves and recording themselves?
No. Just in general, just having that experience in the studio.
Oh, okay. The experience in the studio, it takes, just like any other thing that you need to master, like 10,000 hours, up to 10,000 hours in the studio. That experience alone will help you be able to know to walk into the studio with the right preparation and be able to do what you need to do and have it perfected the way that you needed to have it perfected.
My question, does live performance factor into that, or is it like you need your live performance hours don't really because I know that certain live performance things help in the studio, but certain things don't.
Me personally say it does not factor into that.
Can I add on to that?
Break a Leg might have a different opinion because, like he said, that's how he writes his songs.
No, that's what I was gonna say.
So
I had an issue. I had a problem when I first started recording. Was I would get in the booth and feel like I'm on stage, so I'm too hype. You know what I mean? I used to get in the booth and be too hype.
There you go. Talk to me. Me as the engineer is like, yo, yes, rap it like you performing to the people, but rap it also, like you gotta tone. It's a certain type of tone or level you gotta construct yourself and meet with. So it's not the same, so you don't need your performance.
But Brian, you say it in a certain way. Like I remember, like I don't have a memory where you knock me out my zone, because when you an artist, you still got to be in your zone, so you can't overthink it. And I'm like you checked me on that before, where I was like, oh, but you didn't say like stop jumping around or whatever. You was like, I'm getting very.
Oh, somebody just said something about punch-ins. I don't like punch-ins. Don't talk about punch-ins. Don't talk about punch-ins. No.
Punch-in edits can't be done live. Talk to him, Gordo.
Yo, listen, punch-ins, I hate them, yo. When I used to record on the regular, I need to do my verse in one take, bro. Straight up, dog. One take, yo.
My brother, SoundMinds was in the studio just yesterday. SoundMinds was in the studio yesterday, all three of us, man, and it was a beautiful thing. Did we punch in? Hell no. Yeah, y'all unmute.
You know what's crazy though? And the
punch in, tell them.
Yeah, the wild thing was, right, being able to through experience just yesterday, 24 hours ago, speaking to my brother as an engineer, man, one of the things, like when I finished my verse, went back, sat down, was like, Rob, what do you think? Rob, how did you listen to it as a consumer? Listen to it as a fan? Listen to it as an engineer? And then once you start checking those boxes, then you understand a grasp of who the audience is and how we operate and to put something out for the audience. You know what I mean? So the punching game is and then the thing is that it's really about you catching certain things at a certain time. Like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But I think Gordo is right though. Truth of the matter is.
Let me be a devil's advocate, man. Because punch-ins is okay for rough drafts. Why I say that? Because sometimes when you are freshly writing a song, you know what I'm saying, and sometimes you're not even finishing the verse. You can actually finish it just by punching in, and getting it together right there. And then
I might be a thoroughbred. Yo, I'm a different breed then. Yo,
wait, hold up. But on top of that, it gives an artist, let's say an artist that needs to actually practice that verse Like how you say, you already,
just
like you already go and perform your junk, right? You already got it. And then you come in the studio and record it. That's where you could say that performing actually helped you. You know, where punching in would help you, where now I gave myself a rough draft. Let me spit this verse over
like
and over
reference.
and over again, a reference and
basically.
go back in the studio and lay it crazy. Like so, and so many songs have came out better, you know, that way. That in my opinion, but also it goes the opposite way where it don't even come as good as your reference. So
I think these little technical things we're talking about are very important, but everyone has their own process. I'm not going to knock nobody for how they do their shit. You know what I mean? You know, like if you have a certain process the way you record, cool. You know what I mean? But me personally, when I was recording on like full time, like I'm talking about, like I would do 4 songs per session, four full songs every time I did a session. So I would do like 4 or 5 hour sessions. You know what I mean? And I would have every song memorized. I hate reading. I cannot read rhymes off the paper, yo. I hate it. No,
you special. You know what? And I call every artist, every rapper that I meet that can memorize their bars right after writing it and recording it, that has it memorized and can go and spit it with no paper. Like that's special. That's special. That's
the way I always, because of me, just like I said, I never recorded, so I always did like live performances. So I always just had this like thing where I just memorized stuff, you know, firsthand because I want to go perform it. So I would have to rehearse the songs and everything anyway. So it was like, you know what? I'm just gonna memorize my verses. You know what I mean? And then when I write, I repeat the whole verse from the beginning every time I write a new bar. So if I'm right, like if I start from the beginning every single time, if I write 4 bars, then I'm starting from the first bar again to write that 5th bar. You know what I mean?
To make sure it fits.
I'm so glad that you just said that, because that's exactly what
that's a gem right there.
I'm so glad that you just said that, because I asked a rapper that memorizes their rap so easily. I asked him like, how you do that? And he literally said that's his technique. That he literally rereads it from the top every time he writes a new line. And it just helps him memorize it every single time. And
yo, that made me wonder if
really like a great technique, man.
When people stumble in the studio, I wonder if they just taking a break that their brain took when they was writing it. Like maybe that's where they stopped when they was writing, because the unconscious mind remembers everything. The unconscious remembers everything. So if when you was writing, you kept stopping there, maybe that's what's happening when you stumbling on that bar. You never know.
Yeah.
But that's a good point.
One thing I realized you saying,
everybody has bad sessions too, man. Come on, we all have bad sessions.
Right. Yep. That's 1,000%.
And when did Break a Leg? When did Break a Leg do the events? You know, like open mic events. You know, in Jersey, live in person. Like, and what, you know, how long and what was the stretch before you had to transition into now taking it online?
Well, originally, you know what I mean? I was only like hosting. Like people just loved me hosting because I'm a good freestyler. So like I would just get up on stage and host the show and just, I'd be like, yo, DJ, throw on the beat, and I'll just start rapping about the people in the crowd and about the venue and about where we're at and somebody's eating hummus and whatever it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's why people always hired me as a host for their open mics. Because I would entertain the crowd. Like, say for instance, you know, you got the sign-in sheet for open mic, and like nobody wants to come up. You know, everybody wants to go last or go later. So I'm like, all right. So I start dissing everybody in the crowd while I'm freestyling because they don't want to come up and rap. You know what I mean? Just make it entertaining. So that's how it really started with me. Because as an artist, you know, I was always like that. Like I never really wrote a lot. Originally, I just like freestyling. You know what I mean? So I would just go in ciphers corner to corner, because that's how it was. You just be walking around and there's ciphers everywhere. You know what I mean? They ain't like that no more. But
deja vu, another episode of hearing another story about how it was back in the day when you could just be going cipher to cipher. You could walk up and just have a cipher just those kind of
that's how it started with me, man. That's how it started with me. You know what I mean? So I just, eventually, Cats was like, yo, you got bars, write and shit. So I started writing and, so on and so forth. As an artist, I just love the freestyle part, though, yo.
It seemed like as an artist and someone that puts yourself to a higher expectation, that's part of what, correct me if I'm wrong, that's part of what went into how you run break a leg, because it's like, I know what it takes to be an artist and I want to do something to help other people know, like, are you hitting that mark? You know what I mean?
Yep,
Similar to EO Dub, like they put things into the ingredients where it's gonna check you, like anything that come through.
Yo, shout out to my man AP. Shout out to my man Baxter Wordsworth.
Salute.
Two of my favorite hosts of EO Dub of all time. AP was one of the illest freestylers. You know what I mean? AP could just spit off the head, like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
So what did you build into Break a Leg that did? Because I feel like we go in there. We kind of go in there already, just in the context of how you do it. What is the things that you built in your platform to make sure that happens, to help, to make sure that guidance, you guiding them in the wrong, like one thing you already said is you're honest, right? A lot of platforms, they don't want to say anything to the artist like it's gonna offend them, and you feel, one, that's your responsibility to be like, look, if you on my platform, I'm gonna give you some guidance. This with love, though. That's one. What is some of the other things besides being honest with artists that you built into your platform, where we know it's not just a regular thing that somebody doing to get money?
All right, well, look, I don't like to call myself, first of all, I don't like when people call me a promoter, because I'm not a promoter, I'm a curator. You know what I mean? And when you hear that word promoter, you think of people ripping you off. You know what I mean? You think of people being grimy, shiesty. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a promoter. And, a lot of times, like, I had people that were trying to, like, work with me but I mean, shout out to my lady who's, like, since she's been with me, he's been helping me out tremendously with everything I do. You know what I mean? And I've had other people along the way. But to be honest with you, yo, I've been doing this by myself, yo. I used to book the whole show, book the venue, book the artist, host the show, DJ. Like, I'm talking about all in one show. I ain't talking about separate show. I'm talking about I used to do all that in one show. Cook the food. You know what I mean? Like, I used to do all this stuff for my events when I first started. Shout out to Cafe Soleil, which was the first place that we started in.
Print the t-shirts, sell the t-shirts.
What year? What year was this?
I actually started in 2015. But getting back to the story, you was asking me how it started. That's how it started, with the open mics, me hosting. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I want to create my own platform. You know
there
what I mean?
Go.
So that's how it started with me. When I was hosting, I was like, you know what? I already got, connections with people that have venues and, people that are already doing stuff. So, why not just try to do my own thing? So, I mean, I came up with Break a Leg, the name, because I've been doing like entertainment since I was a kid, performing in school concerts and talent shows at school and all that. And we always said break a leg before you get on stage. I mean, that was the thing. You don't need luck when you're talented. You know what I mean? That's what break a leg means to me. You don't need luck when you're talented. Just go up there and do your thing, man. You know what I mean? And that's it. You feel me? And that's
I used to think break a leg meant like go so hard that you actually hurt yourself or don't. And then one time, I think it was an English dude. He was like, "Well, you know where that phrase comes from," and he said, "Like there's a leg that brings the curtain down in England. It's called a leg. And you're supposed to have them keep raising the curtain for encores over and over till that joint break, right?"
Yep. Well, there's also a story that in Broadway originally, there was this line where if you didn't get to cross this line, you know what I mean? Which they said, you broke a leg because you crossed the line, then you wouldn't get to perform that day. You know what I mean? So that's I don't know. That's where I was told also where it started. I heard many stories about it, but I just know you never say good luck in show business. You know what I mean? You always say break a leg. So hey, break a leg to y'all, man. But
thank you, brother.
It started. That's where it started, man. And then I was like, you know what? Jersey needs like I said before. Shout out to EO Dub. You know what I mean? Because there was the platform that we was just going to rapping all the time. You know what I mean? But I was like, you know what, we need an EOW in Jersey City. So I was like, let me start, my own platform, and that's basically it, man. I invested my own money, and like I said, I hosted the shows. I put them together. I booked the artists. I do all that stuff. And it don't matter to me. I don't complain about that shit, man, because I love to do this. I love the work. You never hear me saying to people like, oh, man, I got so much stuff to do. Like, nah, man, I love this stuff, man. I love putting these shows together, doing events, and bringing people together, man, and having a good time.
And I got to tell you, brother, the passion is visible. You know what I mean? It's very visible. I think for the most part, man, that's where it kind of comes from, man. The culture is kind of all about the passion and the love that you have for it, right? First and foremost, man, shout out to my brother, man, my big brother, Jay Smith, Lower East Side, man. I seen you shout it out, brother. But now let's segue into that. So Break a Leg now is a YouTube show that you do. I know generally you do it on Fridays, right? Yeah. And then the dope thing about it is, and just kind of like this episode, playing with the words, right? And so the title of this episode is just Kicking It, because this is Break a Leg's entertainment, you know what I mean? Break a Leg's entertainment episode, right? But what you do with the Break a Leg joint is dope, man. And I want you to speak on that in regards to how you listen to music, and then just like the Source used to have the 5 mics, you have legs. So there'd be times, man, I heard people sit there and be like, yo, I'll give that 2 mechanical legs and like a broken wing, man, just because a little hot sauce. So if you could, man, tell us about that.
What's up with that? What?
Okay. Well, look, I mean, originally when the pandemic first started, I'm gonna be, I just want to say some real shit while we on air, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was lost, I was confused, man. You know what I mean? Because like even my regular job that I'm at right now, we in Brooklyn. Yo, shout out to my man Esco with me. I got the hat on, the pen and pistol joint, as y'all can see right there. Yeah, okay. Boom. But anyway, shout out to my man Esco, pen and pistol, man. My regular job is about people coming together. I'm a production manager, you know what I mean? So it's events. I was the house manager at the college for the school theater. So all my jobs, everything I've done, even Break a Leg, is about a lot of people coming together, which has been since last March. That hasn't been really happening too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was confused, though. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I'm like, yo, what's gonna happen to Break a Leg? What's gonna happen to my job? Yo, I didn't know what the hell, man. So me and my man Carvo just decided one day just to go live on IG and just bug out and let artists send us their songs to listen to. Now, mind you, I was just playing the speaker behind me, you know what I mean, and just letting the music play in the background at that point, and just doing it like that, keeping it simple. And we was the first, I think, 2 episodes we did live on IG. We didn't even have a name for this. It wasn't a segment. We were bored. Everybody else was bored on Friday night. Nobody could go nowhere. Everybody was on lockdown. You know what I mean? So we were just like, yo, you know what? Let's every Friday, let's do it. So, the first one we did, mad people tuned in on IG, and people were sending us their music live, like right there. Then it was like, yo, what's your email? I'm gonna send you, my joint. So we just started like that, yo. And then after the first 2 joints, we was like, you know what? Let's take it further, man, and let's make a show out of it. And that's how it really started. The whole leg thing, that came later on. Like while we was doing it on IG, I had the emojis on my phone, the leg emojis. Wow. So that's really what happened. That's what really came from, was because we had leg emojis on our phone. You got the robot legs on your phone, you got the human legs, and you got the chicken leg, you know what I mean, on your phone. You know what I mean? So that's how the whole thing started with the legs, yo. We was like, you know what? Wow. Let's let people put their emojis in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you know what I'm saying? That right there is. Oh, he cut out.
Okay. So just to let y'all know, kind of give you the landscape too, man. There's times, man, and like I was saying, hopefully he come back with us soon, man. But the dope thing about it is there's people that send in and they like religiously. So as long as they've been rocking out, there's people that be there religiously sending different tracks, man. There's some heat on it. And shout out to Jersey, B.
I'm back.
Shout out to Jersey.
Man. My bad.
Yeah. I was hoping you down while you was out.
I don't know what happened, man.
the aliens don't like the conversation, man. They start trying to abduct people, B. But for the most part,
they cut me off too.
They so people will send their tracks, and people will be on some real like, yo, what's your man's name again?
Carvo.
Carvo.
Shout out to my partner Carvo Music. Make sure y'all go check him out. He's a dope engineer and producer. He just mixed and mastered the last Mickey Fax project and some of the songs off the last EP before that. You know what I mean? So shout out to my man Carvo, man.
And that's the thing, man. Like you can hear the respectful, constructive criticism that comes out of the both of you. It makes sense now that he's the engineer producer and he does that. Whereas with you're more on the lyrical side where it's like, but then you have special guests. You had Psycho Les on there one time. Yeah. You had and it's funny.
Do It All. Shout out to Do It All. Lords of the
Do It All. Right. Do It. And they just had, as a matter of fact, Do It All was doing a VR joint yesterday called In the Park with Grandmaster Caz, Focus. There was a couple people, Ed OG. You know what I'm saying? They just had a show yesterday. But the funny thing is, man, when you have these guests come on and they don't necessarily know the dynamics yet, right? They don't know the system yet. So then they'll explain it to them. So Psycho Les was like, yo, what you want me to say? He was like, yo, just give legs. A word. Yo, a chicken leg, man, and something else. I don't know. And so, but the beauty of it is, it becomes so organic.
Let me say something about Do It All real quick.
Do It All.
Check this out. This was hilarious, bro. We talk about sometimes, we give chicken legs for flavor. Like if the song has sauce, if it had flavor, we give you chicken legs. So you get a combination. Sometimes you might get 2 human legs because you put in a little work, 2 chicken legs, right? But you got to put some sauce on the chicken legs if it has sauce. So Do It All was like, yo, I put some Old Bay seasoning on the chicken legs, right? Yo, why Do It All whipped out? Word is born, he whipped out a little sandwich bag full of Old Bay. He's like, yo, I keep this on me all the time, bro. I swear, bro, a Ziploc bag full of Old Bay.
You could tell that's real, too.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So, while you getting, first of all, as an artist who doesn't necessarily have the exposure, you're getting that exposure, but then you also are part of a show where the special guests are part of the whole, like, it's just dope, man, because people get real creative with the legs. I heard people yell.
Light skin. You know what I'm forgetting to say? You know what? It's not just about us playing people's songs and giving criticism and the guests. And then you know what the most important thing is? Yo, the live chat room be lit, bro. I'm telling you like this. That's a community of artists and people who come there. They're tuned in, want to hear the music and criticize it and talk with you and build with each other. And collaborations and different things have come out of that live chat room, yo. I got artists who from Canada that started working with other artists that are from Cali, and artists from Cali working with other artists from Italy. And we worldwide with it, man. I had artists from Africa on there, from France, from Spain, from South America, and different countries, Brazil, Peru. So, all over America, of course. You know what I'm saying? But with
the COVID shutting down like the live thing, are you saying that it also is helping, like through platforms like you problem solving, it's actually helping more people reach than we normally would reach through
listen, it's expanded my brand, because to be honest with you, I wasn't focused on monetizing. You know what I mean? I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on just doing events and having shows, and I wasn't doing much on my YouTube channel like that. You know what I mean? So that gave me an opportunity to focus on this, on doing, having my brand monetized, where like now, even if people can't come to a show in Jersey, they could watch it live on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? They could watch it live on YouTube, and I'm getting bread by them just viewing it. They don't even have to spend money. You know what I'm saying? You paying with your eyes. Or your ears, your eyes and ears. You ain't paying with your pockets. You know what I'm saying? And Leo Cohen said that, man. That's what's so dope about YouTube is that people pay with their eyes. You know what I mean? It is. Whether you're a subscriber, whether you have a paid subscription on YouTube, or whether you're watching videos with ads, you're paying with your eyes and ears, man. And that's listen, YouTube is the most important platform out of all those, out of Spotify and all those other joints. YouTube is the most important one to me, man, because you have control over everything on YouTube, what you're doing. You have control over your monetizing. You know what I mean? You have control over how much money you're gonna make on your YouTube. You just gotta grind out and get the followers, get the subscribers, and get the views. But man, it's definitely the best platform for you to focus on, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Like you
And that gave
said,
me
the
the time
stream
to do that,
economy,
bro.
huh? The stream economy, huh?
Yo, it's crazy, man. Why you think Leo Cohen is no longer the president of Def Jam and he's the president of YouTube Music? You know what I mean? Because labels are done. Stop thinking labels, man.
Wow,
Labels are done.
that's a gem.
Universal owns everything, dude. You can name any label right now. Universal owns it. It doesn't matter what label you name, really, man. Universal owns everything. I mean, I watch a lot of interviews. I don't know this just because I'm just like, I'm not smart at all. You know what I mean? I just listen to other people who are smart. You know what I'm saying? And I learn from them, yo. And I learned from watching interviews with Steve Rifkin and Leo Cohen and all these people that have been in the industry for a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Steve Rifkin was talking about, like another thing is there's no such thing as really A&Rs in this business anymore. You know what I mean? Like the art of A&R is lost because what the A&Rs used to do was important, man. They used to connect the artists with the producers. You know what I mean? Not just find talent. They would take artists like Ja Rule and hook him up with whoever, or take artists like DMX and hook him up with Swiss Beats. You know what I mean? Like Irv Gotti did. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, there's a whole bunch of A&Rs out there that have done Lenny Santiago, Lenny S, like guys like that, and Irv Gotti were important back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The game done flipped, and then I think for the most part too, man, is because the A&Rs was the liaison to the exposure. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays, because of where we at, social media and so on and so forth, and all the other platforms, is like, yo, I don't really need a liaison. I'm just going to bang on their social media doors and put this out. So if they hear it, they like it. That's a connection, rather than waiting on somebody else to get paid off of letting you be introduced to somebody else. So yeah, the game done flipped a whole lot now. Game done flipped a whole lot
so
now.
much, bro. It flips so much, man. And I mean, and artists got to adapt to it. It's not even. It's the mindset. You know what I mean? It's the mindset, man. We got to stop trying to like follow trends or whatever it is that we're following, and really have a good understanding of the music business, because as an independent artist, you can do very well. You can do better as an independent artist than as an artist signed to a label. You just gotta invest your money in the right things.
I got a question about that. A number of things you're saying all lead me back to this one point, right? You saying like basically as an independent artist, if you're basically lazy, you could actually do better. Facts. My thing is, we've had a lot of people that are platform creators that have stopped. Like, shout out to Ep4 from Hieroglyphics So Submissive, right? He told us it was a point at which people didn't even realize at certain times that he produced some of these classic tracks like 93 Till Infinity, or that he produced certain things. They just thought he was a rapper, or when he was in a producing lane, they just thought he was a producer. And like you said, a lot of the great people are just humble about it. They like, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. But then it gets to a point where, like when you talk about A&R and branding, sometimes people get to a point where they're just known as this one thing, or they might even be known as something that's not their main thing. So you being an LMC who could go in, not have to read off the paper, do 4 tracks in the session, you know what I'm saying? We know how you get down through this podcast. Have you ever encountered that where you doing a platform in a certain way so much where people are surprised when they hear a track from you, or you feel like, damn, how do I brand or market myself so people know I am an MC at the end of the day? Like, what's been your travel with that, or your advice with that?
I mean, yo, just keep it authentic, man. That's what it really boils down to, Just be yourself. To me, that's what it really is, I mean, that's what I've always been. I've never been the type like to make music about anything but reality, anything but what I see or what I experience, So I mean, that's what it really boils down to from being an artist, I mean,
So you
to
never had
being a curator.
you never had someone be like, "Oh, he's just a curator," and not realize that you are MC too. You never had that happen?
Nah, because I always use my listen, when I host, like I said, I just utilize every bit of talent I have,
Got you.
you know what I mean, into my brand,
But
Like
you
if you
always performed at your joints to let it be
if
known.
you watch a few episodes of constructive criticism, I freestyled on there many times. You know what I mean? I've had ciphers on there with like
Just got
10,
the major
15,
jump.
20 MCs, and I'll just get on there and I'll really freestyle off the head. They all spitting writtens. You know what I mean? I'm spitting off the head, So I mean, I'm not acting
He
like
just dropped the major gem.
I'm not acting like I'm the best MC or whatever, you know what I mean? But that's just, who I am, I love it. I love just being myself. And that's what I try to do when I host. I just try to be myself.
And
I
that
try to
that
conversate and
that
hold a
earns you the
conversation.
right to critique others. Like when people see, oh, that's how he gets down, I could take feedback from him. And that's a challenge to us. SoundMinds, this next year coming up, you're gonna see like a track from us each week in the YouTube description. You're gonna see something. That's something that we could do more that you doing it. That I'm gonna thank you for challenging us. You know what I mean? Just by doing it, what you do, that makes me inspired to be like, okay, we could incorporate that into our podcast now. Because I know a lot of people that listen to our podcast at this point, they know we rap, but now that we growing, it's a lot more people they need to see that link in the description or that, like the quote from Rob from this week. Like said this on the energy track.
Or,
You know what I mean?
or like
We
a, or
can
like a
leave it in
theme
there.
song, that y'all put it, you know what I mean? That
Oh,
y'all
Rob,
did or something. You know what I mean?
That's
Rob.
me
What's
all
up with
day.
the
That's
theme
me all
song?
day.
What's up with the theme song? You need to bring that back, bro.
Yeah, we should play that tonight. Play the intro track. But you know what though, co-sign at the same time too, man. You speak on authenticity is not necessarily a trait that a lot of people have for whatever the reason, man. Again, whether it be the era or whatever it is. It's funny, man. I remember an MC who came out I'll just say the name, man. Cannabis came out. Cannabis, when he came out, was one of the illest dudes. You know what I'm saying? The four corners of the earth, put him on horsemen, and like you listening to that, right? And I remember I went to I think it was SOBs or something. So now at that time, Cannabis was just the ill dude. He was known to go off the head at all times. I remember, man, I went to a performance. As a matter of fact, me and my partner, I think we were performing that night or something happened. But needless to say, Cannabis was up there. So I said, all right, damn, let me be the audience first. Let me see my man handle his business. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I got a little disappointed when I heard him say that he was going off the head, and he didn't, and was spitting something that he actually forgot. So he was saying, "Yo, I'm gonna go off the head for y'all, man." And he just started off Solar Galactic, the practice of most mattress. Hold on. Solar Galactic. I said, "Yo, fam, hold on. You not going off the head then?" And I heard that verse before on something else. I said, "Damn, that hurt my heart." I say that to say, and that's the thing, man, it's about being authentic and understanding, be who you are and comfortable within your own skin, so that nobody ever got to check and reference and sit there and be like, yo, you ain't who you saying you are. And I think that's where the game kind of lost itself. Nobody really cares for that integrity or morale no more. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I'll be going into the studios and busting out a whole album without even writing. And you like, yo, fam, I know you not that nice, but you stop it. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you know what I mean? Like, we put it to you like this. And I'm going to say it, man, and, for what it's worth. Go ahead.
Light skin, check this out. Yo, the funny thing is, why, when I came up, I had to go through a lot of battles to prove myself, yo. You know what I mean? Like, I done battled everybody in my hood, in Jersey, from Central Jersey to Jersey City, you know what I mean, right? But the reason why I was able to transition into being a battle rapper is because growing up in Jersey, you had to be able to crack. If you wasn't able to crack, yo, you wasn't surviving in high school and grammar school, yo. Listen, cats wasn't sensitive like they are now, yo. We used to sit there and crack on each other all day long, bro. I'm talking about like non-stop cracks and jokes going on all day long, bro. You know what I mean? So being able to transition to battle rapping was easy for me because I would just incorporate cracking into the battle rapping. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like crazy shit, yo, crazy shit.
Yeah, it's it's at the same time, man. You look at the era again. I say this as honest and as pure as possible, but one of the most celebrated rappers has been questioned about his pen for years. You know what I'm saying? And he's still making millions, and dudes are still sitting there like, yo, one of the top MCs is Drake. Fam, if your pen has ever been questioned, you could never be considered the great in the MC world. If you want to say you a dope artist, if somebody wants to say, yo, he's one of the top 3 artists, if that's your opinion, then dope. You could never sit there and say, yo, he's an MC that belongs on that list because your pen has been questioned and people have written for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like that integrity and that.
You know what? I want to add on to that. I'll say this. He's not one of the best rappers of all time, but he is one of the greatest artists of all time. Because listen, I think people throw around the terminology hip hop too freely. That's what I think. You know what I mean? I don't think everything that people label as hip hop should be labeled as hip hop. And I think it gets judged the way it does. It gets looked at the way it does because we're looking at it from a hip hop perspective, which it really is not. You know what I mean? It really is not. So, you know, I want people to stop throwing that terminology around less. Like, yo, please stop using hip hop for everything that somebody like raps on. You know what I mean?
You said something about when you was talking about like you always had to prove yourself. Back to the show of constructive criticism. Have you ever so far ran into any like negative comments of saying who is these dudes?
I was waiting for this
thinking
one.
that they can
one,
who you think you is?
Yo,
your opinion is what? You know what I'm saying? Like
I love y'all. I love y'all questions, man. Shout out to SoundMinds podcast, man. Shout out to my homie Light Skin. Shout out to Poet. Shout out to King Rob, man. Yo, you guys asked the right questions, man. I was waiting for somebody to ask me this, right? So, shout out to my man Ren Thomas. I don't know if y'all know Ren Thomas, yo. You know what I mean, he's one of the he won backpack. Was that Team Backpack?
Team Backpack, yeah.
Ren Thomas won that. He's one of the illest freestylers out there in Jersey.
No, he gotta be if he won that. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
He was on the show. What was that show that Lenny S was on VH1? When it was like having like artists come, like just like new artists. You know what I mean? It was just like an unsigned thing. I think it was called Unsigned.
Maybe Unsigned, yeah.
He was one of the finalists on that joint. But anyway, he was on the show that day. And this kid was a producer and we didn't know him, whatever. Now, mind you, we invite the artists. Not only do we review their song, but we send them the link to join the Zoom meeting and actually be there while we're criticizing it.
Right. Sometimes they show, sometimes they don't, right?
Sometimes they show, sometimes they don't. Most of the time they do. But this time this kid didn't show up, right? He was in the chat room. So he sent in a beat. It was just a beat, yo. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, it wasn't that great, yo. You know what I mean? You could tell it was amateur. I'm not saying it was whack. You know what I mean? I'm just saying it was amateur. You know what I'm saying? Now, me and Carvo didn't really like go harsh on him, you know what I mean? But people in the chat room was getting on him, you know what I mean? Somebody said it sounded like some aquatic life type of shit. So Red Thomas, he's not gonna be that nice, you know what I'm saying? So Red Thomas, I forgot what Red Thomas said. Yo, he said that instead of giving them legs, because we give legs as the criticism, he said, yo, I'm gonna just get that one a herpes hand. A herpes handshake, right? Yo, why the next day I get some voice messages in my Instagram from
There you
dude
go.
that made the beat, yo, going in talking about, yo, fuck y'all, fuck your show, I hate you podcasters.
Yep.
Hold on, he was like, yo, he said, fuck Jersey, you. He said we were privileged or something. We felt like we were privileged. Yo, he went in. Yo, actually,
he wanted the whole state for the herpes.
Yo, bro, he slaughtered the whole state. We actually played. What I did was I got an iPhone, so I screen recorded the joints right before he erased them. He erased them after like 10, 15 minutes. But I screen recorded them shits before he got a chance to erase them. So I sent them to Carvo, and Carvo recorded them at the studio, and we played them. We played the voice messages next week on the show. And it's important. It's important that people heard this because the show is called Constructive Criticism.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, now mind you, Red Thomas was being funny. He didn't say, never make a beat again. He didn't say no crazy shit like that. He was just being funny, man. He didn't like the beat. You know what I mean? He said, you got a herpes hand. Oh, well. He was like, yo, this is what he said about Red Thomas. Let me say this. He was like, yo, fuck that fat bitch that said I got a herpes hand.
Dude.
Yo, he said, no, actually, he said it like this. He said, fuck that fat bitch that gave me a herpes hand, yo. So I was like, yo, you know what? Carvo was played on the show anyway.
That's hilarious because it makes it like he don't even realize the people outside the conversation. He basically telling people he got herpes from somebody.
Yo,
that's why you gotta understand.
Yeah.
Criticism, like if you just react, you just make it worse on yourself, my G.
And last question before we let you go, like how I know it's important to play it, but how did you now then respond to then show, once again, like get into the stuff, like we have a platform to do constructive criticism, and we have that position to do so, like
well, I mean, like I just, because I have a musical background, man, I'm just like, you know what,
there you go.
Listen, if you know me and you know my taste of music, I mean, basically, that's really what it should boil down to. I mean, and plus, I've worked with so many artists, in the last 10 years doing open mics and doing shows. It's like, I'm just around it so much, man. And then I work with
you stand on your own 10.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with people like Easy Mo B and industry heads. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I just. I just been around it, man, and I have an understanding of it. I'm just musical, man. That's what I love, yo. I just love music, man.
Longevity, long.
You know what I was gonna say too. Back to the dude,
I never
right?
told people that my criticism is the last word. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, and that's the thing, though, man. We open ourselves because we even kind of, for the most part, one of the episodes that we put out, right? It was an episode about Queens, and I kind of sensed a little funniness about, how can men tell a queen how a queen should be, and it's crazy. So I say all that to say, man, we open ourselves up for that vulnerability when we open up these platforms, and this is kind of like, this is what we hear. We're talking about it. If you feel it, so that's why I always will say, if y'all ever feel a certain way about anything I said, come through. Let's talk it out. Let's do however you feel, whatever your energy is. Let's make it. I'll match that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is kind of like we out here. It doesn't mean that what we say is gospel. We ain't etching that in no stone. This is our opinion. You got something to say? Either call up this or leave your comment. We could bring you on. We could talk about it, or whatever it feels, or just open up your own platform so that you can speak your truth. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I actually invited dude back to the show. Come on the show and so speak your mind, bro. Listen,
there you go.
You're gonna offend me. I don't care what anybody. That's my whole thing. Is like even as an artist, I do what I do. Ain't nobody gonna offend me. You could tell me my shit is whack, and I don't give a shit. I don't care, bro.
Right.
I really don't care.
It's Kosa, before we let you go, brother, we do this to every artist that come through. Do you have a 16?
Definitely.
You want to spit?
Break a leg.
favorite 16.
The man that does 4 sessions in one verse, four songs in one session.
So it don't even have to be your best joint. It could be something that your favorite joint that you like. Yo, that 16 is always in the pocket in the chamber. Whenever I need it, just release it.
Okay, I got you. Actually, you know what? I want to say one thing. One of my favorite artists of all time. Yo, rest in peace, MF Doom. You know what I mean? One of my favorite artists of all time. I'm talking about like Michael Jackson, Sam Cooke. Like, you know, that's the type of artistry that MF Doom has, man. Inspiration to me and to all of us. Shout out to his sister Star, and you know, shout out to his whole fam. Yo, rest in peace, MF Doom, man.
Rest in peace.
So let's do it like this. You want war, you can find it in our pages. Different weaponry that span across the ages. Yo, check it. Yo. Man. When I was younger, they said, yo, man, what do you plan to be? I don't know. I just hope I have my sanity. Because this crazy world have your thoughts all scrambly, have you feel appalled like you lost your family and fall off frantically. But this music keeps me right. These bars are therapy. These songs going better me. So fall off, never me. I was born for better things. Keep climbing to the top while they fall off steadily. You morons feather me. Too smart for y'all mentally. Can't out clever me. We pan out dead MCs. About to resurrect hip-hop, we hand out entities. 5-star, yes, it's me. Co-song the NOT with my homie next to me. Up on deck to rep the team. About to rock this game down in the future, be a legacy. With music, we are legendary. It's stupid to be an enemy. Kids rising to the top while you falling down steadily. I had to get that. I have other verses that I could have spent, but I just wanted to do that one for Doom, man, because he's an inspiration to me, and he inspired that verse, man. You know what I mean? That's actually joints, man, that I brought that to.
Fire emojis in the comments, man.
That was dope, man. I like that. You stupid to be an enemy. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna throw at you a plate of teriyaki chicken leg. You got the teriyaki chicken leg.
He said a chicken leg with teriyaki sauce on it.
You know what I mean? Appreciate that.
My brother, so before you go, man, because we know you busy, man. We want you to get caught up, man, in what you're doing, and we appreciate your time, brother.
Listen,
like no other.
I'm at work right now, but I don't care, man. I appreciate y'all giving me the
Yeah,
opportunity.
come on, man. We thank you for your presence, man.
You the poster child for no excuses. I just gotta say that before you get out. You the poster child for no excuses, bro.
Making it happen, regardless.
You just made our podcast like another milestone in our podcast. Like I feel like a lot of listeners is gonna upgrade what they do and how they move because no excuses, bro. This man was at work the whole time and did a podcast with the cops in the background. You see?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you was good too, but I was a little concerned.
We good, we good. I'm in Brooklyn right now. Actually, we good, man.
Oh yeah, that's the regular. The Brook. No, this is the regular. You know what I mean? You don't see them lights, something wrong. If you don't see the light, something wrong.
Real quick, man, I want to thank y'all with the most sincerity I can. Yo, I appreciate y'all, man. Seriously, I was being funny at the beginning, but I'm dead serious because you know I like since I've been doing Break a Leg. If you look at all the flyers I've done, there's been so many brands that I looked out. A lot of them didn't even pay for space on my flyer. I just was looking people out to help them get their brand out there. And I didn't get the same opportunities in return. And y'all don't know me from a can of paint. And y'all invited me on here to give me this opportunity. And I want to say thank you very much, bro.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you. And truth of the matter is,
on my show, when constructive criticism starts, I want to have y'all on our show. Me and Carvo, shout out to my partner Carvo. You know what I mean? Again, we gonna have y'all on our show. And we're gonna be giving people legs and judging their songs, man.
Let's make it happen, big.
We got some bangers. We got some bangers.
We know you by the work you do. Let me make
man. We about it, man.
Yo, Dub, and Lifeline, Words, New Yorican. Like we know you when you do it. Like they say, game recognized, game real, recognize real. Platform creators recognize platform creators.
That's a
Real,
fact.
yo.
Man, you stay out.
Our channel got to go to your
And we
channel.
gotta support
We're
each
not
other,
doing
man.
the
We
right
gotta
thing.
support each other, man.
Third degree separation, right?
That's
Look
it.
at how
Right,
that
right.
all come together.
Still sharp and still. You know what I mean? So for the most part, man, and that's what it's about. That truth of the matter is, Coach, I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. There was a bar that I spit, man. 2 bars. God made the real to decipher the frauds. They claim that they're nice, but that topic is too broad. You know what I mean? And truth of the matter is, man, we don't have enough real. You know what I mean? There's way too many fakes that are running around, man. Way too many fraudulent. So truth is, when God made the real, it was only to decipher the frauds.
About those platforms out there that's doing foul shit. That's doing foul shit to try to get views and get more likes and get more followers. Man, I got one thing for y'all right here. Where is it? Right there. Right for them.
No, you won't get a leg. You get a finger.
Hold up.
There you go.
But yo, listen, seriously, yo, keep it authentic, man. Keep it authentic. Keep it true to the brand. Don't be calling yourself Jersey artists. And then I go on your and then you trying to be like world star hip hop, bro. Nah, man, that ain't it. That ain't it, bro. So keep it authentic, man. Break a Leg is the source of culture. That's what we do.
I gotta say, brother, we don't want to hold you up, right? But you seem like you got one in the chamber. You want to get off your chest. If you want to, we here, brother.
You feel me? Because I mean, especially because he threw the hint. It was a hint of something where they doing something, and I noticed that he does something there's other platforms out there that does something similar to what he's doing. They charge artists to get their music played.
Nah, I don't charge. I have a donation. Charge. I have a choice. You can donate if you want. You know what I mean?
You don't charge or say $20 donation to get in line or
no, I don't do that, yo.
$40 donation to skip the line and get in front of everybody.
Nope.
You feel me?
And a lot of that, a lot of that is a bunch. Like, to me, be honest, even with the events. There's promoters out there that charge people to do shows. Like, say, for instance, I got 38 Special opening up, and now I'm charging artists to sell tickets. Like, I tried that before. Like, I tried it once or twice, and it doesn't work for me. It's not my thing. And everybody that's on my ear, people telling me, yo, that's what you should do. That's what you should do. You know what I mean? And I tried it when the people was in my ear, and it just didn't work for me because the artists that paid weren't what I wanted on the show. You know what I mean? And I'd rather have artists that I know is gonna put on a great show and bring because first of all, if you putting on a great show, people are gonna come out to see you. And secondly, they're gonna come back again to see you again. You know what I mean? So that's important to me. You know what I mean? And that's what I've always been about, is just keeping it that way, filtering out, the stuff that I don't want. You know what I mean?
And you know why I say that, brother?
And you stay away from taking advantage of the artist. And that was the other key point that I was making when I said that, because you do this for,
Those ain't real promoters. They talking about they promoters.
At all.
They making the artist pay for all the expenses.
And I'm gonna be real.
You rapping, it's rappers rapping for rappers, bro.
That's right. And it is, man. You know what's crazy? I'm glad you brought that up, man, because there was a I was real quick.
Drop it on him real quick.
Nah, I know, and I, you know what, Rob? Because you my brother, I kind of feel like there's a vein in that, and a reason why you said it. And I'm gonna just, like I said, man, I'm about exposing the frauds, B. There was the joint I went to rock out at a joint, and then they had another show after that, Beloved Spot too, Kyle. You know about it. And there was a couple who were like, "Yo, man, you dope, man. You should come to the next showcase." And you should. I said, "Yeah, dope. I'm with it." They were like, "Yeah, we charging artists $40 to get on though." I said, "Yo, if you don't get off my phone with this nonsense, B, like, how dare you ask me to do your showcase and want me to pay to be at your showcase? Like, you bugging the hell out." And that's where I feel like that fraudulency, that need to get exposed, B. That need to get exposed. And I'm glad you're speaking on it, brother. So thank you for speaking on that, man.
Well, come on the platforms like Break a Leg.
There you
go. My brothers. Shout out to my brothers True and Living, who also have a platform as well in Jersey that do a lot of stuff for artists, man. So I gotta sign out, fellas. I hope we could do another one and talk.
Definitely.
I can talk for hours. I'm nuts. I'm insane. If y'all don't know,
It's an honor.
You know what I mean, but yeah, man,
Thank you,
I
bro.
appreciate y'all. Yo, the love is real. Make
Setting
sure
a great
y'all
example,
all
man.
tune in. Go follow these brothers. Sound Minds.
Thank you, brother.
Understand the meaning of sound mind.
Here we go.
Understand the meaning of that, man. You know what sound means? We're not talking about the stuff that comes out the speakers or the headphones, yo. You know what I mean? We talking about just being level-headed, yo. We talking about being down to earth. You know what I mean? That's what we talking about, being natural.
He just gave away a secret.
Hold up, breaking it down. Listen, family, before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean? That notification bell, so you can get these, invites
gems.
and these notifications when we go live. You know what I mean? So hit that notification bell and hit the like button before we sign off.
And
right now,
throw a chicken sauce in the comments.
and we are out.
Throw them legs in the comments.
Let's keep building, brother. We keep building this construction of the real. Sound Minds.
Sound Minds.
Peace.